Hey everybody, welcome to the program. Mike D here. Today we're fishing in the Redbone Catch the Cure Celebrity Fishing Tournament in Montauk, New York to raise money for cystic fibrosis research. And guess who we're fishing with? Astronaut Bruce Melnick. You heard that right. Bruce is an astronaut. He's like John Glenn and Steve Austin from the $6 Million Man. Bruce flew in 2 space shuttle missions. Look, there he is on the space shuttle. How cool is that? This is going to make for some very interesting conversation. Let's go to Lunkerville.
Got one! Fish on!
It seems in every town in America that there's a secret fishing spot where the water runs clear and the bass are always biting. And at that spot, there's an unsung hero who knows every stump, laydown, and lily pad. Seems all he's got to do is wet a line. And sure enough, he's reeling in a big bass. So if you're looking for real people with real fish stories, then hop a ride. We're going to Lunkerville.
We're not seeing birds and we're not seeing fish on top, so Bruce is going to plug and see if he can draw some up from the bottom. It's not very deep in here.
How deep?
Right now we're at 13 feet.
Oh, that's not deep at all.
Got a little bit of swell though, so we're not going to be able to get in too close.
Huh. So what do you got there, Bruce?
I've got a plug here that is a slow sinker for these striped bass that are usually down a little bit deeper, and it'll chug pretty good. I've got it on my Redbone rod here, of course made by South Bend. And we'll just throw this baby out there. When we get there a little bit closer, you can see you can throw it a long way. Let it sink down a little bit.
How much do you let it sink?
Oh, just about 10 seconds or so. It probably goes down a couple feet below the surface, and then just kind of work the plug. Oh, I think I got hit right there.
You got a strike already,
hit right
first
there.
cast. Whoa, some major swells here.
Here you go, Mike.
No bait.
Okay, so what do I do with this?
You're just going to cast it as far as you can and retrieve it. Jerk it a little bit coming back.
This rod feels good. This is one of those Redbone rods?
Yeah.
So Bruce, this astronaut thing, it seems almost unreal because I know I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a kid. I think every kid at some point wanted to be an astronaut, but how do you go about doing it? And when did you decide that I'm gonna do this?
North Ward Elementary School, Clearwater, Florida, and we were doing a May Day celebration. And 1961, and the principal came out and stopped the May Day celebration to let us know that Alan Shepard had just successfully splashed down in the ocean and that we had our first successful human space flight. And I was the son of a charter boat captain at the time. No one in my family had ever been to college, but at that point I thought, wow, that would be so cool to be an astronaut. And that's just one of those things I kept in the back of my mind and in my running lights all the time, knowing full well that I'd never become an astronaut. And I was ready to become a charter boat captain. I'd never wanted to go to college. No one in my family ever did. But my mother convinced me, because math and science came real easy to me. She said, you know, you ought to try to go to college. And we didn't have enough money to go to college, but I was able to get in the Coast Guard Academy. In 1978, at my first duty station, I saw that I could apply to become an astronaut. So I did, knowing full well I'd never get accepted. And I applied every year from 78 until 87 when they finally accepted me.
Wow.
And meanwhile, I was flying, helicopters. I became a test pilot, piloting a new Coast Guard helicopter. And I just had a great Coast Guard career and got a phone call one day saying, hey, how would you like to come down to Houston and be an astronaut? And off I went.
Wow, that is very cool. Very cool.
I mean, the American dream is still alive. That's the way I look at it. I'm the American dream personified. You know, having nothing, coming from nothing, and got to fly in space twice.
You're a spaceman.
How cool is that?
Do they still call you Spaceman? If anyone...
That's the name of my boat.
Really?
Fish, there you go. Decent fish.
Nice.
That's
What's
good
that?
fish too.
We don't.
I
use
just
that.
sat there and I had a, you know, that's the old will thing. I said, man, look at this color, little color change here. I'm gonna throw right there and see what happens.
Yeah.
Little weed on the line. Of course, we got right in the area where we're in the turbid water.
Ooh.
No, it's just a blue.
Oh,
It's a blue.
That's cool.
Blue devil. We call him blue devil.
Decent blue.
Nice size. Take them.
Good time to have a net.
Huh?
Good time to have a net.
Yeah, where's that net? You just forgot it, I think. No, nice one. Is he a keeper?
There he is. And there's the lure.
All right.
You see those teeth? They will hurt you.
Yes, they will.
They will hurt
Razor sharp.
you. Razor.
Here, can I put him?
No, don't really. 22 inches.
All right.
22.
Out.
On the board.
That is a Montauk bluefish. That's a good size to eat.
Oh!
Well, it is a catch and release tournament.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
I forgot.
So Bruce, you say that again. How did you find that fish?
Well, we were sitting here and I don't know if you see the dirty water and the color change there. Well, we got into this dirty water and there was just one little strip, like right over there where there's a little bit clear water.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can see that through the lens, but I just said, you know, I've been sitting here, haven't thrown in a few minutes, so I'm gonna throw one right in that color change, and one jig and boom, he was there.
Those bluefish don't know who they're messing with, Bruce.
That's right.
Spaceman.
Spaceman.
I need to know. Peeing in space.
How
How
do
do
you
you
pee in
pee?
space?
Yeah.
Peeing's the easy part. When you have to do the other ones, a little bit tougher.
Oh, geez. Okay, tell me both.
You can talk about that later, but when you pee, it's fairly simple. We actually have a toilet on the shuttle that looks almost like a porta potty. It's kind of about the same size. That connects to what we call the wet waste tank, which is at a partial vacuum. And also what goes in there is the water that you make. We make a lot of water on the space shuttle out of our fuel cells to develop the electricity. We combine hydrogen and oxygen in a fuel cell. And so the byproduct of that, H2O, is water, and that goes in the wet waste tank. Well, when the shuttle was first built, it was only built to fly for a few days at a time, to run up to a mission and come back. But as the missions got longer, we make more water than that waste tank can hold.
Ah.
So occasionally on a flight after 3 or 4 days, you've got to empty the wet waste tank. And so all your urine and the water is in that tank, and we pump it over the side, and we call it yellow snow, because when the water hits the vacuum of space, it instantaneously turns into snowflakes.
Really?
And you can see it going out the side of the shuttle.
Do you have any video of that?
And a big plume. Got a video of that.
Can we
Sure
put on
do.
Lunkerville?
Sure.
Awesome.
Sure.
Yeah, I just got a call from a friend of mine over by Gardner's Island, and he said there's some big bluefish up to about 12 pounds. They're finning on the surface, and
Plural, more
very
than one.
catchable. Oh yeah. So let's take a let's take a ride
Take a
over there
ride.
and
I love boat riding on a nice day.
see if we can get it.
Jim, your lure has no hooks. What are you doing?
No hook. I use this as a teasing plug. It's big, noisy, got a rattle in it. So hopefully I can attract some fish to come to the top. They'll follow it in, get within range of you. Bait and switch.
I like it.
And then you drop it behind me and he eats you.
Yes. It's a team effort.
Good.
There we go. Come on.
Fish on, all right.
There we go.
Come on, Mike.
That's a nice one.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Mike.
Let him-
There's another one.
When he runs, don't reel against him.
Okay.
Keep your rod pointed at him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice fish.
That's a huge one.
Good, Blue. Make sure your drag's not too tight.
Nope. He's taking it. Oh,
Nice job, Mike.
he slapped at it and then he came back for more. Whoa.
Reel down and pump him up. Yep.
Woo.
Redbone rod.
That's right. It's coming through. Okay.
Nice fish. That's a big blue. Nice fish, yes. Whoa. Oh. You're the man.
Spaceman.
That's what we call a gorilla. Keep your fingers away from his mouth.
How do you get the hook out?
I'll take it.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. He ate it. He slapped it, then he ate it. Woo.
Just watch him. He's slippery. He's slippery.
Yeah. 31. 30 and a half.
You want to kiss him?
No,
No,
I do not.
All right.
bite your tongue off.
He's going in.
Go home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice job,
Nice
Mike.
teasing him.
High five.
You teased him to me.
High five.
You willed it.
So Bruce, what's the most exciting part about a space flight?
Mike, yeah, there's several, but obviously the first one that everybody would think about is that first takeoff. When you're laying there and you're on the pad, flat on your back, and all of a sudden at T-minus 7 seconds, they start the main engines. I mean, it's loud, it rumbles, and the shuttle actually rocks a little bit because these main engines are off center line from where the shuttle's held to the pad. But then at T0, when you come back to upright, the solid rocket boosters ignite, boom! You can't see the gauges in front of you, you're shaking so loud. And when the shuttle lifts off the pad, it's so big, it looks like it's hardly moving. But by the time you reach the top of the launch pad, you're already going over 100 miles an hour. And off you go. And that whole first stage ride is just a rough, loud ride for the first couple minutes.
Cystic fibrosis is an inherited chronic disease that affects the lungs and digestive system of about 30,000 children and adults in the United States and 70,000 people worldwide. A defective gene causes the body to produce mucus that clogs the lungs, interferes with digestion, and leads to life-threatening infections. In the 1950s, very few children with cystic fibrosis lived to even attend elementary school. Today, advances in research and medical treatments have people with the disease living into their 30s, 40s, and beyond. South Bend has made a commitment to fighting cystic fibrosis with their Redbone series rods. A percentage of all Redbone rod sales are donated to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation.
Back in 1984, my wife Susan and I, our daughter was born with cystic fibrosis. We immediately volunteered to fight the disease. I told my wife, I said, well, I'm a fishing guide and I happen to fish a number of celebrities. Why not do a celebrity fishing tournament? We brought together a team of celebrities, and the first year we raised $16,000 and we thought we were doing great. We would go from there to 40,000, 50,000, up to 100,000, 200,000. Finally, the CF Foundation called me in 2001 and said, you're doing something special, let's take this on the road. So we started doing tournaments in cooperation with the CF Foundation all across the country. And all of a sudden we're raising 1.4 million. And there's something about fishermen, they're tenacious, they love a challenge. And what's better than being able to go out and fish and help save a young life at the same time? I mean, doesn't get any better.
Whoa, I'm getting hit out there, boys. Get a plug. Somebody get out there. Right by my plug. Right by my plug.
Fish on. Fish on. Get that thing coming. I think they're gonna hang around while I'm fighting this fish. Oh, that's a nice jump. Did you get the jump?
Yeah.
How cool is this?
This is what it's all about.
That is
Worth the
awesome.
wait.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Almost as good as lifting off from the launch pad. Since we were talking about that at the time. That worked. Got me all excited.
I love that tease lure.
Yeah, that works.
You're going crazy for it.
This one's not as big as yours though, Mike. Here he is. He's a silver. He's a decent fish.
That's very nice. You kidding
No
me?
slouch.
He's a cow.
No slouch.
He's a decent fish. Steer him around to you. Yeah, Jim. Bring him right to you. Boy, look at that leader.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
Nice, man.
I think, you know what?
What?
Bruce, he is heavier.
Yeah, he is.
He's heavier than Mike's
He's
fish.
fatter. Yep.
Woo!
There we go.
That's a heavy fish.
That's a bluefish there.
Thanks, buddy.
Nice. All right.
And the time is
140.
Bluefish time. So I want to continue this conversation about your most favorite part of a shuttle mission.
well, you know, I think where we left off before the bluefish hit was I was saying how we're already going 100 miles an hour after we clear the tower. And then we accelerate in first stage, which is while we're still on the solid rocket boosters. And we ride those for 2 minutes, and it's a rough, noisy ride. And then we get to staging where we get off the solid boosters and we're just taking the 3 main engines with the fuel out of the external tank on up into space. And that's a smooth, quiet ride on the way uphill, as we call it. But now the G's start pushing you back in your seat, and you get to 3 G's to where you weigh 3 times more than you do on Earth. And it takes you 8.5 minutes from the time you take off until you burn all the fuel out of the external tank. And at that point, you're hard pressed back in your seat, can hardly breathe, and you come to what we call MECO, main engine cutoff, and you go poof, instantly from 3 G's to 0 G. You're free floating, it's quiet, it's smooth, don't even feel it, and you're traveling at 17,500 miles an hour.
Wow.
Over 25 times the speed of sound, over almost 5 miles a second, 25,000 feet per second. And a common rifle bullet travels, as you well know, about 2,500 feet per second. So when we're in a space shuttle, we're traveling at 25,000 feet per second, or 10 times faster than a rifle bullet, and you don't even feel it.
You don't feel it.
No. So the ride uphill is just awesome. And then just seeing the Earth from space is indescribable.
That's it. I want to become an astronaut. I'm rekindling my childhood dream. Is it too late for me? Is it too late?
I don't think so. John Glenn went up when he was 77.
There you go. The dream is still alive. We're with the Spaceman and Rorschach. A really great time. You know, everyone gets a nickname on Lunkerville, so that one was quick.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
pretty good.
Yours is easy, Spaceman Astronaut. This one, you know, it presented itself. Look at him. He looks like a superhero from The Watchmen. Well, you know, this was a great time. I appreciate fishing with you. It was looking desperate there.
Oh, it was tough out there early.
I know.
I mean, there were no birds, no activity. It was dead.
It was one of those days where it's just like, you know, you don't think there's a fish around. And then you caught that fish.
Yeah.
And we're like, there's hope. And then Jim contacted a friend, had a tip, and we went out to some area that just looked like it was in the middle of nowhere, but there were fish. And we had a lot of misses, but we had a couple nice fish.
Nice fish. And,
Yeah.
and to see them swimming under the boat like that and attack the lures, you know, you're not going to catch every one, but that was just what bluefish is really about. It's just seeing them whacking those lures. They're aggressive.
Very exciting, you know, seeing them and the blow-ups and a little frustrating not catching all of them, but you know, hey, caught a couple. So, Bruce, I want to thank you again for
Thank
being
you very
on the
much,
show.
Mike. Oh, I
It
really
was
enjoyed
a
it.
pleasure to meet you and fish with you. Hope we get to fish again sometime.
Maybe we can do it down in Florida one time.
And you
Come down and fish with me.
And do you give flight lessons?
No, I don't do that.
No.
No, not anymore. I used to be an instructor, but
Okay.
hung that one
Well, I
up.
was like space flight, or like the Richard Branson thing. I'm gonna see if we can get him as a sponsor.
Oh, that'd be good.
Maybe I'll meet you again in space.
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm done. I'm done. Too much fish, too many fish to catch.
Well, thanks to Bruce, thanks to Jim, Rorschach, and thanks everyone for tuning in. Don't forget to tune in next week to Lunkerville.